Oh boy. Good fish. Oh, look at this, George. I might need you with here. Oh, nice, George. Did you grab that one? See? Come right up to you. Oh, good Lord. Fish. Hey? Tell me the truth. Would you rather tie one of these on or live bait for crappie? This YouTube episode is about fishing with live bait versus artificials for crappie. Which do you prefer, but which do the big crappie prefer? You know, there's so many different scenarios, locations, time of year, water temperature, water clarity, all those things come into play. I'm going to try to break down a few examples of us traveling across the United States and Canada, fishing for black crappie and white crappie with different scenarios of where live bait shines or scenarios where artificials will definitely catch more crappie than live bait. Sit back, relax, enjoy this opportunity for our opinions on how we do it, so hopefully it'll help you catch more and bigger crappie wherever you fish in North America. Let's start it up. All right, YouTube followers. Today, it's going to be about the slip bobber and little soft plastic. In this case, crappie magnet, slab magnet. On a 1/16 ounce little chartreuse jig head, the place I'm going to fish has got some real dirty off-color water. Like we're not talking Mississippi, Oklahoma, Alabama, Tennessee. We're talking like Texas T right here in Ontario. But this applies to anywhere you fish that has off-color water. I can see down about 6 inches. After that, it gets almost invisible. So something like bright white with chartreuse. And what I'm going to do is just dissect areas of shoreline, cuts, trees, anything that I think has the warmest water. The water temperatures right now are between mid-50s to low 60s, prime for those fish to be just staging before they go up tight and do their business. So the small balsa wood, I'm gonna be fishing anywhere between, I'd say 3 feet to about 6. If I see fish deeper and I don't get bit in my shallow stuff that I've originally wanted to fish, then I'll move out, fish a bit deeper. But for right now, I got the bobber stop right here and it's set about, 36 inches, okay? That's about 5 feet of water I'm gonna fish. I've got a small split shot here as well, so the bobber stops, keeps the bobber totally vertical. There he is. Ooh, big slab, dude. Look at that. On the float, huh? How's that? How's that with the float, hey? Right at the back. Okay. How's that, dudes? Right there. Look what that slab magnet is. You think he wanted that? He wanted it slow. Slow to go in the morning, huh? That's what the float and bait does right there. Look at that, slab magnet. That's a big crappie, boy, no matter where you fish. Okay, first things first. The good old slip float or bobber with a little shad bait, tube jig, or something below that float. How many people do that for crappie? It's so popular because they love the visual aspect of seeing the bite indicator or bobber or float or cork, doesn't matter what you call it. It all achieves the same results. Seeing it go down, seeing it knock, seeing it fall sideways for crappie, signaling a bite. And what better way to do that with a little piece of plastic or a minnow? There's so many different ways to catch crappie. Remember that too, right? Crankbaits, jerk baits, little tiny swim baits, shad baits, crawl, you name it, man, hop and pop on the bottom. There's so many different ways, but it all calls for different circumstances based on, again, time of year, water clarity, and where those crappie are positioned. I'm going to show you some different instances when we're using the float. For my first choice, and I call it they call it the light bite, and it's like, I think that's like the 1/2 inch, slender little float, so easy to slide down, and 9 times out of 10 I use, when I'm using a float like this with no weight on it, I use a little split shot just so that bait gets down where I want it, so that float sits a lot more vertical. Those crappie bites are so reminiscent of dunk. So you want that vertical like that, and the sensitivity, so when they bite, it goes up. And then at the bottom end, all depends how deep I'm fishing, the bait I'm using. But this case is the 1/16 ounce Northern Tackle Supply little jig with a mustad hook. You know the bait, crappie magnet, slab bite. That's position. I found the weed bed, put the marker buoy out. Let's catch some crappie. There you are. Feels like, oh yeah, good crappie. Oh, well, that's a good one. Oh, that is a good one. Oh, yeah, getting closer to the fish fry. He munched it again. He munched it. You can't even see it. I want to keep him riled up here. Catch a couple more. Oh boy, do you ever take that? Man, when you guys decide to eat it, you do eat it. See? That's a nice eating crappie right there, boys. Right there. Okay, I know what you're saying. Him and his oranges. You should live in Florida. But seriously, orange is a color that provokes strikes from crappie. Even in crystal clear water, pre-spawn, spawn, it doesn't matter when it is, man. Something about that orange tone with maybe some chartreuse little tails or belly, you know, different size baits too. Okay, just vary it. Crappie, like right there. Yep, crappie. Good crappie too. Look at it. Oh God, dude. Look at this. The magnet is drawn. Oh God, moly. Hey? Beautiful, man. Beautiful size fish. Sometimes when you're not catching a lot, you're catching good ones. For me, it's like bass fishing. I don't need to catch a lot. I'd rather catch big ones. Let's put him in the box. But something about that orange, man, it provokes crappie to bite. Crystal clear water, murky water, muddy water, it doesn't matter. Try the orange, because sometimes this will outshine live bait 10 to 1. Look at this one. Look how far he took it down. You got to see this, man. You got to see this. Look at that. Do you want that? That's what happens when you're patient, right, Carl? Not just sit and hook as soon as you see the fish. Let him take it and you feel that. We all know what that crappie thump is. That's the feeling of success. And that's what it looks like. Beautiful crappies with the fin spin. Can't beat it. Taking a few fish. All right, how about these little critters? Little bladed underspin baits. These things find crappie way faster than throwing them under a float or vertical jigging. I can guarantee you that. But where do you throw it? When do you throw it? Weeds, spring, summer, fall? You know what? It's all relative to where you fish. We fish a lot of weedy lakes, okay? So the crappie love to hide around the bait fish and things. So throwing a float is definitely an option, because we do employ that method and we catch a lot of crappies. But something about throwing this little bait, this one's called a little fin spin, the Pro Series, bright little blade, okay, goes through the weeds, cuts through. It provokes strikes from bigger crappie. It's a perfect example of why artificials will outfish live bait sometimes when you're just looking for crappie. You don't know where they are yet, because we all know they move from place to place, from hour to hour. Bladed baits, find them and catch them. Okay, so you only got an option of a float. The vertical jigging isn't working. Here's an opportunity. When we were fishing in Lake D'Arbonne in Louisiana, we fished the heck out of deep cypress trees. Those crappie just did not want to see a jig or a minnow on their nose. So all we had was a 10-foot poles. We decided to put the live bait under the float and fish different grass lines and stuff. Oh yeah, nice crappie. Nice crappie. Oh, big crappie too. Oh boy, big crappie. Sitting out in the middle of the channel there, Brandon. Whoa, look at this guy fight. On the float. That's the size we're looking for, huh?
That's what we want right there.
Look at that. When it's slow, you gotta go slow. Sometimes you gotta use the meat. That little minnow, right there. Look at that. Oh, crappie sees that. You know what happens. Here we go. Back into the kill zone. Let's see what's out there, Brandon. Is there a giant out there? Is there like some big scary crappie out there?
I hope there's a 3-pounder out there.
There's another good one. Yep, look at this sign. Oh my God, whoa, and the trolling motor, huh? Let him come out, there he is, he swam into the net. Another slabber. Just slow, aren't you girls, huh? Little boys, look at your skinny belly, look at, huh? Look at that, you know what he's doing? He's fighting, trying to do some business with the females. Look at him, look how black. Beautiful white crappie. Just great eating size fish, big fins. But you are so slow today, hey? Most guys that drive through there, leave. We're gonna stay, because we're gonna catch some of you for dinner. Here's the setup. I got a 10-foot pole. You know, the B&M, Sam's, super sensitive for jigging and stuff too, but it works out here for the poles. And I got that slip float with a knot right up here, about 18 inches. So that can just slide. The little bead stops it from going inside the top of the slip float. A couple weights, little crappie hook, very simple. I rig that minnow in the middle, let it slide, goes up to here and it stops. We got a little bit of wind, so you know it's not going straight down like this. Chances are it's on a bit of an angle like this. And anytime I'm fishing crappie, I want to make sure that thing is just above their head. They like to usually come up and eat. You know, they will go down and eat, but most times they like it preferred over their head. Most people know that. So it's just a matter of perseverance out here. We know they're here, we know where they're sitting, and just cast after cast, being more persistent and stubborn than they are, and we'll catch them here on a cold, windy day after some phenomenal rain. See these little things? Bright chartreuse and pink. Sometimes when you're shooting docks, I would not suggest shooting docks with live bait. I think you get frustrated because the top of the water will be littered with damaged little minnows, okay? This is another example of where little soft plastics will far outweigh catch them shooting docks or bridge pilings. Here's a couple instances when we were in Texas fishing for, you know, early spring white crappie and black crappie below boat docks, way back in those nook and cranny spots, or beside deep interstate highway bridges and stuff. We used sonar to locate the fish that were on the different pillars. We used sidearm cast to get the bait way back in, did a countdown method, the bait's going down, and the fish could not resist the soft plastic. Minnows could have been an option, but the soft plastic destroyed them again. Depth and cover, right there.
There he is.
And you know what?
Good one?
It feels pretty good. Oh yeah, it is a good one, George. Oh boy.
Good fish.
Oh, look at this, George. I might need you with here. Oh,
No,
George,
deep.
you got that one? See? Come right up, G. Oh,
Good
Lord.
fish.
Eh?
Good fish.
You did say you have to be close to the pillar and dark, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Look where he's got it too. Oh my goodness. Look at that. There's nothing wrong with that crappie right there, boys. Wow. Man, oh man. And right through the hard spot. Look at that. I can't even move that jig. It is in that hard spot. Wow. That is a fish that was meant for TV right there. A real Texas slab. Look at that. Wow. Oh yeah. Beautiful looking white crappie. Gotta love Texas, man. Gun Barrel City, where everything is bigger. From the fish tacos to the crappie. And put her in a live well. Come here, big girl. Okay, what happens if plastics just cannot catch them? Then what do? You gotta have live bait. You just gotta be prepared. And there's a couple times when I fished in the States, deep brush piles, whether it be winter, spring, summer, and fall. We just had to go to the meat. And there's a couple times with my buddies Luke and Chopper, Illinois, they got some different lakes. They know to catch them. They use plastics a lot and they pound the beautiful crappies. But sometimes they just don't want to open that mouth. So we used a double minnow rig on a drop shot setup. I'm going to show you, Chopper's going to show you how we did it. So we had to catch them on a hot day when there's 3 guys, 6 minnows on the brush piles, and still just hardly getting bit. So sometimes you just have to use the meat to get bit. It's in October, and it is. And the crappie are biting, but man, oh man, it is a little bit of effort No complaining, but this is effort.
Yeah, it's dandy.
Uh-oh, this is stuck. This is stuck. Oh, let's see, where are you? Oh, you're just gonna lift him in? Come on.
There you got him.
Hey, I told you. You're gonna get him, Luke.
Little theater.
Yeah, just the net was stuck and I was one-handed, I didn't let my rod go either, in case I got bit. That a boy, Luke, another black, huh?
Another black.
Black crappie. Show them boys. This is how he does it right there.
Crappie Master Luke.
Yeah. Cool Hand Crappie Luke.
That's correct.
That's your new name?
Cool Hand Crappie.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry about it, guys. I'll get my own minnow. Starting off in the morning, we had to drop it all the way down to the bottom and just hold the bait right there, and then the crappie would bite it. As the sun got higher and the crappie got tighter to the brush piles, what we would do is we'd drop it to the bottom and then we'd pull it up very slowly and then drop it right back down, and that's when they bit.
I'll just tell you when to get close to the brush. Come on, fish. Really? Oh. No, he's a swinger, right?
Yeah, swinger.
Wow. I almost said again, brush. See, so that last one I had, it was a fish. It was a fish.
That is
Stop
a eater,
it.
though.
Stop it. You want to make my shirt messy? Okay. Whoa, easy now, easy now. Wow, they're tough little guys, aren't they? Tough little guys. Look at that. An eater. I got an eater. Come on, boy. Yep. But he must have been right in the brush, because at first I couldn't move it, and then I pulled him out.
But you gotta change with the fish. You gotta let the fish tell you how they want the bait. And that's a key to crappie fishing, is every day, every hour, it's changing. So you just gotta roll with it, and once you figure it out, then you can start catching them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a good fish.
Need the net.
Another one. Look!
Look at that.
Look at that, dudes! This one I meant, not the one in the net. I can still catch, folks.
Look at that.
Think about that, eh? Look at that. In the edit room, I'll change that around.
Switch hands.
That's a mirror image.
Mirror image.
Very nice. Way to go, Luke. Yeah, they're awesome. They almost look like saltwater fish, don't they? Crappie.
Yeah, they've got a lot of color.
Iridescence. So now we know they're suspended.
They are suspended. So we use the drop shot rig, which is a simple 1/2 ounce weight. We typically use this for spider rigging. It's got an eye on both ends, but we just use the top eye. Tie that to the bottom of your line. Tie a loop knot off of your fluorocarbon. We're using braid, 25-pound braid, with a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. The water is super clear and the fish can see the line, so we have to put that leader on. And when we're drop shotting, it's not a jig bite, so it's a real light bite most of the time. Some of them will knock it pretty good, but we're using B&M 11-foot super sensitive rods, which you can actually feel your minnow swimming around. So the lightest bite you can definitely feel with the B&M super sensitives. It's my favorite drop shot rod when they're not thumping the jig. There, you got him?
Yeah.
Good
That's
one,
a
too.
good one. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, yes. He was walking with it, Chopper.
Was he?
Yeah. Whoa, look at that. I was lifting up, and I seen the line just going like this with it. I
Just
go, that can't
swim
be
with
bottom.
it.
He's a white, too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a white.
Eating white. That's the key part right there, isn't it? That's
Thick
it right
back.
there. Hot afternoon crappies, boys. Whew. That right there is one of the most deadliest ways to catch big crappie hiding in shallow brush, deep weed, whether it be in Texas, Northern Ontario. I don't care where you fish for crappie. Seriously, something about a shad bait on a jig head, vertically jigged, right below the boat, just can't beat it. Where, live minnows, yes you could, but another option is putting on these things right here. It's called slab bite, okay? A little slab bite has a little flavor, And a lot of times, if you're fishing clear water, you will see the crappie come up to the bait, look at it, and back off. Add a little bit of scent, it could make the difference between seeing fish and catching fish. But single poling, vertical jigging with a jig and a shad bait, hard to beat when you don't want to put on the meat. Now this right here is something you have to have in your boat. I know you love to throw the minnows because it's going to produce crappies no matter where you fish, but when you need to find them on big flats, trolling riverbeds, or over weed beds, it's hard to beat a crappie crankbait. Bright, obnoxious colors, pinks, black, green with chartreuses. You know, this is a perfect example of where you could put a minnow under a float, fish slow and methodical, looking for them, but when they're aggressive and they want to eat, the crankbait is a fantastic option. You can cover water, find the fish that want to eat, and sometimes they are the bigger crappie. So don't discount the fact that the hard piece of plastic with a couple treble hooks will outfish the minnows, because baby, they will. It looks killer. I'm using a stop and go technique. What is this? I'm casting out, getting down about 3 feet, and then really slow rolling. Once in a while, it's just killing it. Dead. Stop. And those crappie cannot stand it. They're like bass. They see that crankbait go by their nose and then stop. And then it starts going backwards or moving sideways. It drives them nuts. Almost like fishing a little jerkbait or something. Yes, sir. Oh yeah. Crappie, look at that. First thing in the morning, huh? Oh, a big one too. Holy God. What a way to start. What a way to start when you actually got to pick up your net first thing, because you're catching crappies with the little cranks. Look at that. All right, what about cold water? You know, that's a perfect excuse or scenario to use live bait, but not all the time. Whether you're single poling, under a float, spring and fall are perfect examples when that water's cold. And a lot of people think that, oh, the fish just, you know, subtle, they don't eat as much, they're not as aggressive. The opposite, man. Depending on the time of the day as well, too. I've had using the single pole with the pink chartreuse, the white chartreuse, the lime Kelly green with chartreuse. These baits, just put in the right spot, will catch them, either under a float or single poled. Think about that, man. You're putting it right on their dinner plate, and you can't beat that single pole or using a slip float and position that bait to hover right above their face. When they see it, they got to eat it. Yeah, you could use live bait. Yes, I'm convinced they would eat live bait, but don't discount the big piece of plastic in obnoxious colors when the water's cold, because a lot of times they school up and want to feed in the fall. In springtime, when you find them and they see the plastic bait in front of their nose shaking that little tail, baby, they're going to eat it. Yeah, right there again, eh? Big crappie too, look at this. Oh boy. Sitting out here, huh? Oh my goodness, look at this. This is what I come for right here. More than a handful of slab. Look at that. Right at twilight. Right at twilight. We're almost done. I pulled off about 8.5 feet of water. The sun is behind the clouds. I'm hopefully gonna catch a couple more that are hitting my float, then go in, enjoy my evening, and come back again tomorrow and catch some more. Don't throw far. Underhand pitches around the boat where he just caught. I'll show you where they are. See, there's all weed out there too. You can see where the gulls are eating. Those are probably damaged bait fish, hit by those crappies and floating up. Seagulls know, go down to feed. Wow. There's a good one right there again. Is that crappie? Is it? Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this, dude. Look at this. Oh my goodness me, huh? Look at that. Out here in the deep clumps, we is catching some big, beautiful Ontario big black crappie. Look where that slab magnet is. Yeah? Oh yeah. Them big ones sit out here. They're the ones that are pounding the bait out here that the gulls are knocking. I need to get the pliers. You know that's a good fish. And you got to get them pliers and you got it right in the meat. Take it, just turn it, put it down. Look at that, man. What's wrong with that? That is a fantastic, beautiful example of Ontario crappie. Man, you talk about fun. An October evening, catching crappies with a little slip float, slab magnet. I didn't have to go to a jerk bait, didn't have to go to a little fin spin, you know, just stuck with the slab magnet. And man, oh man, it got me a feed of crappie. I think I kept 10 to take home just to enjoy with the family. Think about those big black crappies in October in Ontario or wherever you fish, because they want to bite. You just got to be there. You got to use the right baits, right presentation, stay on them, keep fishing, but remember, fish extreme, fish crappie. Wow, hey, look how those seagulls, look at them, look at that, dude, that is like you see shark frenzy. Look, it's because, oh my God, is that crappie? It is too, dude, it's a crappie. Look, this is what we come for right here, out here in the deep weed. Look. Hey, you just gotta move around, boys. Have some fun. Look at that. He ate that, didn't he? Oh my goodness me. Just gotta pop it back. You know, another alternative is the small little hair jig, the little Popeye jig or whatever jigs you like to use that have hair on it. Something about that little tantalizing, kicking little motion, slowly just wave in front of those big, beautiful crappie, whether it be under a float, whether it be single pole. Something about that little fur or hair on that little jig head with that little eye on it, it provokes strikes from crappie. And I know you could use live bait, but why would you? When you can catch them with the little hair jig, go for it. It's so much fun when you think about there's just a few little strands on that little jig. It's put in the right spot. Either put it in front of their nose with a 10-foot, 12-foot, 14-foot jig pole or below a float. The hair jig will catch them when you don't want to use live bait. You come back next week.
There you go. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Net.
Right on, brother.
Hey, single pole and
Oh, I'm all tangled up in my
to
shit
the
here.
Popeye jig. I was moving the boat. Josh, look down. Look down. Look what's there. Look what
Slap
she ate.
daddy.
Popeye.
He followed you right in and then
Yeah,
bang.
Hey?
That's awesome. That's a slabby.
Hey? Wow. Wow. Whew. A little bit of work, but holy cow, man. You talk about having fun catching crappies. From the floats to the single pole and seeing them. We went in some fantastic backwaters where they should be. Only caught a couple. But it shows you that these fish do what they want. They came to a sharp tapering shoreline with rock and a little bit of weed by these trees. And our original game plan was these trees. But look along the shoreline and there they are. 12 foot. Josh has the ultralight. I've got the Sam Super Sensitive and 1/16 ounce Crappie Magnet Popeye jigs. Talk about fun. That was a two-man effort. You see that? There's no way I was swinging that in the boat. There we go. Netter?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Bring him around, Josh. Bring him around. Let's bring him this way. Hey,
Oh,
there you go.
there you go.
That's a plate, man. Are you kidding? Definitely netter.
Oh,
Wow.
nice one.
Now you tell me if that is fun.
That's beyond fun. That's a whole different way, man. Wow.
You open up a whole new realm of catching crappies, eh?
Ah, nice
Look at
fish.
that.
Just a nice wall.
Yeah.
All right. This side, girl?
Yeah, that side's good. I call that Texas gold. Now, when I'm single poling, sure, 3-4 feet of water and brush piles, but this goes to show you that that little bait on a jig head will work even in the deepest hardwood brush piles, like these examples coming up on Falcon Lake. as close as you can get to Mexico, as far south as you can get for crappie in the United States of America. These little baits will work. Sure, you know, the fast forward or forward facing sonar, the wide angle ones. The sonar technologies these days make crappie fishing a lot easier. Let's be honest about it. We all know it. Some prefer, some don't. This isn't about that kind of stuff. You fish with what you want and what gives you confidence and how you want to catch them. But sometimes putting a minnow or double minnow rig down there will catch them, get stuck up in the brush piles. But when you put on that gold with the chartreuse tail on a jig head, watch your sonar. These things will catch them as far south as you can go for crappie in the United States.
Okay, this is a slab magnet that I'm using with this regular jig head. What we're doing here is I'm having to put a split shot on my 20-pound braid. A lot of people ask, why do I use braid? Well, here on Falcon, there's a lot of hardwood and brush piles. With the live scope, like I'm going to show you in a minute, I don't think the fish care if it's braid or 6-pound mono or fluorocarbon. As long as you keep the bait above them, they're going to hit it when you raise it up. What I'm going to do is put a split shot on it because it's blowing about 20 miles an hour. We're in a protected cove here, and it's still real tough for me to stay on this spot. I'm spot locked here. I got the Garmin going with the brush pile that I set. What I'm going to do is just put on a little better split shot. And this helps get the bait down and where it needs to be. So I got my pliers here. Just put the split shot here on the braid. And just so it won't move, I just clamp it here and just cringe it on. We'll see if we can catch one of these fish.
So there you have it. Which is better for big crappie? Live bait or plastic or cranks or bladed underspins, jerk baits? It all works depending on where you're fishing, time of year, water clarity, water color, water temperature. Use all the aspects of nature and be prepared. Have all those different options in your boat. Yeah, it's so much easier just to go get a bucket of minnows, go fishing and see if you can catch them. But sometimes, man, you got to put on the plastic or a hard crankbait or a bladed bait to catch them, because at the end of the day, what's really important? Catching crappie, having some fresh cut fries and some fresh fish for you and your buddies. Listen, thanks for watching. We appreciate you subscribing to our channel.